What up, babes? It's your girl, Dash, coming back from Girl Takes. Well, it's the time you guys' reaction time, and this is to Netflix's Sweet Home. This will be for episode 4. Now, before I get into it, let's do a quick little recap with episode 3. I did enjoy it. There was a lot going on. We're dealing with a situation where we finally get to see a little bit more of the backstory on how I want to say Hyun-su, his parents, are killed. Now I will say this: I'm not understanding. Was he in the car? Was he not? I don't know if he's dreaming. Is his hallucinations, whatever. I'm just really trying to grasp from what we saw from that episode 2 to what we saw in episode 3, because you just see the sister and both parents, and then in this one you see it where he's not. He's in there. So I'm like, okay, which one? So I'm still, grasping that, unless it's something I'm missing. But it was clearly shown in 2 different episodes, 2 different ways, and who was, in the car. But the same thing that truly does happen is this situation where a man loses control of his vehicle suddenly and just proceeds to, come adjacent and, collision. So from there, you see how he eventually wakes up, Uncle comes and sees him and all that, and then just trying to get his bearings. But then it goes back to the scene of the kids, and it looks like he's getting ready to help them, but now you get introduced to another monster, and I think it's like a muscle monster, and just massive. I will enjoy us seeing more of these creatures and how they all look and turn out. I really wish we could have seen how it looked before that, but that's okay. I love that we're going to get introduced a lot, hence how we saw at the ending of episode 1. Also, seeing how we're trying to keep the kids safe, we get a moment where we see a little bit more. I want to say, what's her name? Young Suk coming to aid the kids, and then of course getting somewhat pulverized. I'm surprised she was still alive after the pounce with the fist he gave, and in turn seeing the situation with a little bit understand of what happened to her child, her 1-year-old. Even though we know one of the actual neighbors, I think his name is Jung, actually stated that. Now her finally knowing and letting us know, realizing, I've known for a long time that, I lost my baby, but it's like the rationale of just moving past it, dealing with that hurt and then this trauma of losing your baby. I know it's just no way it could be that easy. And then to see him polarize the stroller and it all coming crashing down in that instance, and then her changing, you see her darkness of her eyes. Now I was not like, okay, same thing with young Sue, and I'm like, okay, something's not adding up. Some of them, in regards to dealing with trauma and all that, or I don't know if it's anger, and in instances how somebody might, if they get hurt, whatever, and all, again, altercation, get hurt and all, they manifest into monsters. And then with certain people dealing with trauma, if they're dealing with, the blood noses and all that, they are not fully infected, they can, revert back. So that's where I'm trying to grasp exactly what's going on. We know certain things like hallucinations, nosebleeds and all that, but I don't know some other things, and I want to understand these monsters. So hopefully, like I said, as we progress in the storyline, we'll see a little bit more with each episode about that. We saw the president. At first, everything looked fine, nosebleed and all that, started acting up, whatever, and one of the military lit it up, and it just had to cut cut screen. Now I know the people are like, okay, what's going to happen now? The person, the leader of our country, he's dead now. He was infected. What are we to do? Who are we looking towards? Now we'll say this: I'm curious if Lee eventually will figure out what's going on with the woman, I think, who works, I don't know if she's a firefighter or whatever, going down there, I think, into like the lower basement, and because you see she's gotten caught, and it looks like she's in some sort of web. And then I made a comment about, and I want to say he's security or maintenance, because I'm trying to understand if he's maintenance, security, and all that. When you were seeing initially him in the first episode, is that the same guy who was dealing with, one of the people who live in there when she gave him that fish? Is that the same man? Because we saw his nose bleed with it or not, and I thought we didn't see him anymore. And I don't know if he's downstairs, like we said from the other episode, how the cameras and all that. Somebody tried to, keep us in here to keep us safe, whatever, from what was out there. They knew it was already out there. Still don't know. So like, it's definitely a little bit of unanswered questions. I also seeing get the kids became safe. They got them there, but they have to deal still with young Sue and the fact that he did turn, even though he turned back. Same thing with the woman. So I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out when they get down there with a group of other people and have to explain that, because we don't know what triggers it. All of a sudden, just comes out of nowhere. Will he have a moment with the rest of them and put other people in harm's way? He was very strong to hold off that monster, from grabbing those kids. So I don't know, but I do like the way Jung did his little thing to outwit him and maneuver where he fell out that window. I didn't see that coming. I thought that was good. I said I love the smarts on him. There's also another guy. I'm wondering when he's going to turn, and I'm talking about, I want to say, Jin Wook, the guy who came to deal with this one guy and duct tape him. You can wrap that baby up and whatever. You got bit. And we need to see how that's going to progress as well. I'm curious about that part. So, but with that said, the last scene with the mother and her daughter finally, we were like thinking, do you know where your daughter's at? You said she's close by. She literally was not far away. And then the guy came out to help her, and they both got pulverized by that monster from the first episode. So even if it's daylight, doesn't matter. They lurk. It was lurking in a little, concrete area, hiding, within the shadows and the darkness, whatever, and still did what it needed to do. So with that said, I know I rambled on, but just to kind of a refresher, so I can kind of just be ready for what's in store for episode 4. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll say the rest of my thoughts and then you guys.
I should say farewell to you both right now.
Someone once said to me, even complete darkness disappears with the faintest light.
Okay then. What are we supposed to do now?
What are you doing?
I'm going downstairs to the first floor to help.
What are you gonna help with?
Firefighter lady?
What do you mean?
Her fiancé used to live here. And then he died. The wedding was set to be in 2 days.
What happened?
I don't know. He just died.
Oh, she got out. Hurry up, girl.
You okay?
Does she look okay? Like, bro, look at how she
You
look.
knew there was a monster down there.
The exact cause is still unknown, but it is believed to be related to human desire. It is not a respiratory or bloodborne infection. Quarantine those who show symptoms, nosebleeds, fainting, and auditory or visual hallucinations. All captured creatures need to be incinerated. Currently, this is the only action civilians can take.
What in the world was that? Oh my God. Jesus.
We can't leave the infected here.
Take the monster out.
Everyone please grab a piece of paper. If you think we should expel Hyun-su, then go ahead and draw a circle. And if you don't think we should, draw an X. Then put the paper in this box.
I want him out. Hands up. It's not murder. We're doing this to survive. Raise your hand.
I think Lee Eun-hyeok has a point. Isn't it better to protect the privacy of our votes? Stop calling your wife names and using profanities. It's offensive.
Stop it.
Please deal with him. I'm sick of him. What's going on with her?
invalid.
Did you forget that someone just died?
Are you against the result?
What? You don't know squat.
Oh, really? Wow, look at this.
If I put this in, he'll be thrown out too, right? Am I right?
Look at his face.
Since we're all humans, nobody knows. Who the next one will be.
Why me?
Oh, why you? You're so deserving of this.
I want to live.
Oh,
I can't help you.
nobody should help you at all.
Why?
I have nothing else to say to you.
What's the matter? What's wrong? Tastes okay.
I feel nauseous.
You need to have energy to miss someone. Why are you acting like you're so nice? Do you think a freaking chocolate bar is going to suddenly cheer her up?
Gus.
So you're the crazy bitch around here.
Thank you.
Watch your back, crazy bitch.
Oh. He's gonna just change the matter.
I think I'm turning into a monster.
Just join a member. What happened to you?
Uh-huh. Because you're just gonna keep killing Dawn.
What's it been like? It's great, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Yep.
No way.
Do it to be sure.
What?
Miss Eun still hasn't come out of the bathroom.
All right, you guys, I enjoyed this episode. Now you see what Hyun-su finally, I can put it to rest. It looks like he was not in the car when they got into the collision. So you see him what looks like to be probably still at the funeral and crying, like, just, angry and sad that his parents are gone and leaving him all alone. But you're still now dealing with a situation where they're aware of him, being affected. You see a scene where all three of him, and then it looks like what is it, Jisoo and I think Jung, they decide to go back down to first floor, and try to do what they need to do to help others and all that, and eventually come back to do sixth place and then help him with the kids and also with Young Suk. So with that said, they're leaving, and if something attacks him, it's like in the shadows, and he falls all the way down. And I'm gonna tell you, that was a high fall because they said it was from the ninth floor, so that already sets it up for us to see the scene where it looks like they're gonna have to decide we can't keep him around us. Either we can make a decision, we can vote. You all want to stay, or you can want him to go. Now, before that, I'm finally glad we figured out what was going on with, I want to say, Yi Kyung. She has been missing downstairs in the basement, and nobody was really checking for her. And I'm thinking about Lee because I was a little annoyed with him. You're inquiring, wondering what she's at. You should have went down there. I'm like, put somebody else in charge for the moment. Go down there and find her. And I'm like this, especially with what happened in the first episode. Him trying to save her, pushing her in to save her in aid so she didn't get engulfed with that creature out there, and being the damage that happened, because you can see the woman's blaming him for her daughter getting killed. Not his fault. And even if you wanted to go out there, sweetie, what makes you think you would have survived? That guy came out there like he said he would and help your daughter. You smacked that water bottle out of his hand, and here he is helping your daughter in those last steps to get to to the building, and she gets killed by that, of course, creature from the first episode. I don't even know what to call that thing, long tongue, but whatever. So in the midst of that, I feel for her because that's traumatic, you losing a child and whole situation, and then knowing that the firefighter was down there dealing with a spider, but that man is still down there. I don't know where he's hiding at and where he's been. No one has seen him. Why is he in the shadows, staying somewhere put down there? He definitely had nothing to do with that, but he's somewhere lurking down there in that basement. So she finds a way, because I was like, oh, she had a decoy. He thought that she was still in it, so because I thought he might have sensed if she was trying to get out of it. Clearly not able to go, through the, furnace of the vents, and one-upped it and was able to get. He tried to snatch her neck, but she was able to cut that off. But she lost her phone in the process. She has to find a way to get to it. Knowing that she did lose her husband, the woman that's not knowing, and when she asked her, how would have said, she just husband, don't know in what way. We might see a flashback. You see her wearing the rings around her neck on a chain, and when the woman comes in and she's like, I feel nauseous, and of course instantly I go to, okay, she could be pregnant. I'm not sure exactly how much of the time when he passed, whatever, from that incident. It could have been something that most recently, I don't know if she did say it was, a couple weeks ago, whatever. So kind of sad with that, but she was like, just, take this, you need to be sure, because now, you're going to definitely try your best to take care of yourself, because if you are, you don't want to get hurt. You're dealing with a situation like no other. They're all trying to stay alive or whichever. So now we're seeing Hyun-su, being voted on. And here is Kim, the man I cannot stand, the way he treats his wife, all just mouth popping off, whatever. And, disrespectful to his wife, whatever, and all that. And I will say this, as much as she blabbers her mouth around, whatever, what's the woman's name in this one? I want to say Sung Hae-in. I hope I'm saying it correctly. My apologies. I don't like to mess up a name for the character. She was just like, kind of just demonstrate, like, just with the name calling and all that, you don't have to say anything, and he's calling herself whatever and all that. And before you know it, all of a sudden the blood starts splattering out that nose. And I was just like, you know what? You don't want to wish something like this on, because you can see the effects of what is happening on Hyun-su, and also I'm from what's happening to her. But this one right here, all bets are off. He annoys the hell out of me. And this is the wake-up call he needs. And of course he going in there like, okay, if I vote, well, that means both of us are going there. And the look on his face of sheer terror, like, oh yeah, they want to be separated from you. Your wife is slightly distraught, even though she's probably deep down inside angry and all that, and probably might be somewhat happy. This is not what you want for yourself. And the fact that he's just abusive, it's like, anybody else, he can try it and it ain't gonna happen. With her, he knows he can get away with it. Well, now, buddy, we're going to have to see what happens to you, how it's going to affect you. Now, when I say affect, moving on to that part where you see Hyun-su, getting ready, I think, make some food and all that. The kids are laying down, taking a nap, and other guys, I think he might have been napping or might have been doing some work. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And you see her just like cutting up some, veggies, and all of a sudden her eyes on it. So I think she used that time when she could tell something's going on with her, and she went into the bathroom. So you see after that, and then the girl, she notices, like, okay, women, we do go in there, we might be in a little while, but you go in there more than an hour, yeah, something will be like, something's not right. And he prepared, and just to see that scene, I'm just like, okay, I really need to understand, and like I stated, as time goes on every episode, the whole fact of, okay, what happens if certain ones turn whatever aggressive, anger, whatever, and all that, and rage and all that, and it causes them to be monsters. What happened to ones who are dealing with the trauma? You see with her, of course, the trauma of losing a child and all that, and it's definitely trying to help the kids, and it all of a sudden causing her to react what she did to that big monster. I'm just curious what is happening to her inside that bathroom. You see him open the door, and just like she's in some sort of cocoon of some sort, doing some sort of metamorphosis. And I'm just like, what is going on? Definitely need to know. I am truly intrigued to see what's going to happen when she comes out of it, what she's going to look like. Will she still be the same? But then that means if something happens that triggers her, emotions, whatever, she's going to turn into something else. Is this what other ones might go through that we have not seen yet? But that's what they get the black eyes. The other ones, I mean, literally turn the creature. You see their black eyes and then they bleed up, but then they like really and turn something totally different right then and there, literally on the spot. It seems to be happening a little bit differently. I wonder if it's going to happen like that with, Hyun-su. Yeah, I'm just so intrigued with this. And then also one other character on here, I want to say Yoon-jae. I'm curious to know, what did you do that's making, what's his name? Oh gosh, Pyong, the guy with the smoking guy who's always smoking. He, kind of like a little baddie, but I'm like, are you a bad guy, or was this guy doing something and they asked for you to come in there and finish up the job cleaning? Because he could have killed him. The torturing for what? So I'm wondering, what is he hiding in that room? When he brought the suitcase, I was like, defeat everybody. The dog barking, she looking at him like, I'm not eating anything from him. When you see all stuff getting out and nobody's paying attention, there was blood inside the suitcase. I'm like, really? He saw her looking at him like something not right, and he's up to something. But he saved himself, I will say, when he ran into him, because he knew it was going to be a confrontation soon. He tried to get a little one up, whatever. He pushed up against him, but he was able to get his keys. And he said, yeah, I think I might be turning, lock me up. I will say this. I was here for Jung stopping him like, you ain't doing nothing. He dealt with that monster and that other creature. You ain't got nothing on him with that sword. So I already knew all best for me off. He slashed them hands or whatever. So just back off. And he did. So I'm assuming in the next episode, he will find his way to his apartment and see whatever is hiding. Whatever he was trying to find from him, whatever, So even though he feels like he one-upped him, close that gate to be in there with a disgusting husband and young Sue. I'm curious what's going to happen. I will say this last little part when Kim asks for help, and he's like, Young Sue was like, I'm not going to help you. I don't have nothing else to say to you. I love you. He's like, I want to live. Oh, you want somebody to feel sorry for you. When your wife was feeling, mistreated and all that, and hurt and scared, whatever, you don't mind smacking her up and calling her all types of names, whatever. Now you want somebody to feel for you because you want to live. Yeah, I think a lot of people watching your character, the guy plays it great. I'm not here for him at all. I want him to go through quite a bit with this now, situation he's going to have that's been sprung upon him, and learn. But then I keep wondering, okay, as he gets older, how's it going to affect him? Is he going to turn fully change? What's going to happen to him? So it's just a matter of time. We will see. But great episode. I'm really looking forward to the next one, because that ending, I swear, I need answers. I need answers. So with that said, you guys, comment below. Let me know what you think. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next reaction. You guys take care.